Solve each equation for x. Part A. A equals b plus x over abx. I see we have fractions, and more importantly, we have x in the denominator of a fraction. So let's get rid of our fractions first by multiplying both sides of the equation by our common denominator. We'll multiply by abx. So on the left-hand side, when we multiply these together, we get a squared bx equals. Now on the right, these will reduce. The a's will reduce, the b's will reduce, and the x's will reduce. So all that's left on the right-hand side is b plus x. Now our goal is to solve for x, so our first problem here is now that x occurs on both sides of the equation. We need to get all the x's on the same side. So to do that, I'm going to subtract x from both sides of the equation. So on the right, these cancel out, and we're left with just b. On the left-hand side, it's tempting, but do not cancel these x's. These aren't like terms. One has an a squared b, and the other one doesn't. So we have to just string these together as a squared bx minus x. Now everything on the left-hand side has an x in common, so we can factor it out. We factor the x out of the first term, we're left with a squared b. We factor the x out of the second term, we've got nothing left over but a 1. Now finally, to get x by itself, we're going to divide both sides by a squared b minus 1. So we get x equals b divided by a squared b minus 1. We have x by itself, which is what we wanted. Part B. C equals 1/2 times the quantity f minus 2ax. As before, we have a fraction, so it's usually a good idea to start out by getting rid of fractions. Let's multiply both sides of the equation by the common denominator. Let's multiply both sides by 2. On the left-hand side, we multiply these together, and we're left with 2c. On the right-hand side, these 2's will reduce out. We now distribute this 1 to both terms, which leaves us with f minus 2ax. And note that the brackets or parentheses are gone at this point once we've distributed. We need to get x by itself. We have only one x term, so we need to get rid of everything else. Let's begin by subtracting f from both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, there are no like terms, so we can just leave this as 2c minus f. On the right-hand side, the f's are gone. We're left with minus 2ax. We still need to get x by itself, so now we need to get rid of this minus 2a. Since that's being multiplied by x, to get rid of it, we'll do the opposite and divide. If we divide the right-hand side by negative 2a, we've got to divide the right-hand side by negative 2a also. So on the right, the signs cancel. The 2's reduce out, the a's reduce out. We're left with just x. On the left-hand side, we have 2c minus f divided by negative 2a. We could stop here, although some people don't like to have a negative sign in the denominator. So to fix this, we can now multiply both numerator and denominator by negative 1. This way, in the denominator, when we multiply these together, negative 1 times negative 2a is positive 2a. Then when we distribute through in the numerator, we've got negative 1 times 2c is negative 2c. Negative 1 times negative f is positive f.